I'm back. As promised, I'm going to share with you the last 22 albums that I picked up 2 weeks ago. This is part of the 73 that I had bought. So I'm just going to share with you right now the last 22. There are some pieces in here some of you might actually like. Some you might be surprised that I have. But here we go. Styx Equinox. Now I know I showed this in my last video, but because I only wanted to share 25 because I didn't want the video to be too long, I showed this one by accident. But yeah, so I'm starting off with Styx. Oopsie. The Grand Illusion. This was my, well no, this wasn't my intro to Styx. That would have been, I think, the best of Styx, where I think the song Lady is on it. This is a phenomenal album from beginning to end. And I was so busy grabbing vinyl, I didn't realize I had actually grabbed a duplicate of the same album. I mean, yeah, I like the album, just not enough to have 2 copies in my collection. This one's a little bit different in that it's gold. Not sure what I'm going to do with the other copy yet. Next, we have Pieces of 8. This is the gatefold. Oh, you gotta love Mondays. And like the other one, this is also on gold vinyl. Now these two were $5 each, but I paid $110 for all these records, so after I worked it all out, it pretty much worked out to being about $1.77 for each album. Now we move on to Jefferson Airplane with Surrealistic Pillow. Back in the 80s, my musical taste, as much as I liked heavy metal, I was pretty much all over the map. I was listening to a little bit of everything, but primarily metal. I was listening to classic rock, psych rock, 60s rock, 50s rock even, and I don't know how it happened, but I overlooked Jefferson Airplane. This album is one of my favorites so far. I had this one on cassettes, but as I was playing the cassette, it started to drag. So needless to say, just as I'm getting into the album, I had to stop the tape because it wouldn't play anymore. So I made it my mission to go out and try and find it on vinyl, and I succeeded. Now we have Crown of Creation. So this is pretty much the start of my Jefferson Airplane collection. And we have After Bathing at Baxter's. This is a double album. Oh no, this is a single album. And it is a gatefold. And as you can see, it's in pretty rough shape. The top part here is damaged, so I don't even know if I can even fix that. I mean, it's just, yeah, I'll slap it in a sleeve and just handle it with kid gloves until I can find an upgrade. Now, this is the double album, Jefferson Airplane Best Of, from 1966 to 1976. This is in really nice shape. And what I like most about this, I don't know how well you can see that. I'll try to So if you notice, each song, it'll tell you what album it came from. So you don't have to do any major research. I mean, you like a track, all you have to do is buy it because it tells you pretty much what album it comes from. Now this is my Stones, Flowers. Great album, a lot of good tracks on here. Ruby Tuesday, Have You Seen Your Mother, Baby, Standing in the Shadows, Let's Spend the Night Together, Lady Jane, Out of Time, My Girl, Mother's Little Helper. Great album. Put it on the turntable to play it, and as soon as the needle hit the record, it skipped all the way through. So needless to say, I need to replace this one. I was so pissed. Now we have Got Live If You Want It. Now this one is in great condition. The vinyl doesn't even look like it had been played. It basically looks brand new. Like someone just took it out of the shrink. Not one single scuff mark or scratch on here. A little bit of dust, but nothing that can't be fixed. So I was really happy to get this one. Now we move on to Hot Rocks. Now, I had actually bought this album back in the 80s, and my mother hit the roof when she found out how much I paid for it. I believe it was like $25 back then, $20 or $25, and I think back then vinyl, brand new vinyl, was going for like $12.99 maybe at that time. So when I bought this for like $25, she was not happy. And I think my collection was already sitting at like 150 records. So that was another reason she wasn't too happy. Now we move on to more Hot Rocks. Again, another double album. I'd always been meaning to get this on vinyl back then, but this one was about the same amount of money, and I wasn't about to go through the nightmare I went through with my mom regarding the first Hot Rocks, so I never did get it until now. Now we move on to a band that I had only discovered through, if I can find it, through this cassette. This is Angel, White Hot. When I played this cassette, I was surprised by how good this album was. After I heard this, I had to try and get more Angel, either on cassette, CD, or vinyl. So when I went to this guy's house, I lucked out and found this album, Sinful. Now, the jacket's in rough shape. There's a lot of ring wear. It's pretty dirty. The vinyl is not in the greatest of shape. When I looked at it, there was actually, you know what? It's just dusty. There's no scratches on it, no scuff marks, nothing. It just needs to be cleaned. So that's a bonus. And there's also a punch hole right in the corner here. So that's... And then we move on to Hell of a Band. Now this is in really nice shape. The vinyl is in mint. And we move on to On Earth as It Is in Heaven. So if you flip this upside down, it still says the same thing, which is pretty cool. The vinyl is, again, in mint shape. There's a little bit of ring wear on it. Came with this cool poster. So again, same thing. Flip it over, you get the same thing. So that was a nice find. And like I said before, I was so busy pulling vinyl, I didn't realize I grabbed two copies of this album. I believe this is their first album, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not well versed in Angel vinyl. So what I'm planning on doing is taking the better of the two, and I'll take the other one back with me. See if he'll, well, he said he would do an exchange anyway, so I'll just do that. And maybe find something else. I'd like to see if he has White Hot, because that's the other album I still need. So this one, there's a little issue with the jacket, but nothing that a little glue can't fix. But yeah, it's pretty worn, as you can tell. Now LJ's gonna like this one. This is McCartney. And it is a gatefold. And if you notice, that's Paul with his firstborn daughter. When he married Linda, she had already had a daughter from a previous marriage. But that's his second daughter now. Now we move on to Ram. This is in really rough shape. The jacket's in rough shape, the vinyl's in rough shape. So I definitely need to upgrade this one. I don't even think I'm even going to try to play it on the turntable, because it's just that bad. Wings at the speed of sound. And a nice copy of Red Rose Speedway. This one is a gatefold. And it comes with a book inside it. But because the book is hanging by a thread, I'm not going to try to show you the pictures, because if I do, then it's going to just come right out of the cover. So I'll try to keep it intact as much as I can. And then we move on to Flowers in the Dirt. And this is the album that has My Brave Face on it. But I have this one on cassette, and when I played it, I wasn't too keen on the rest of the songs. I like My Brave Face, but the rest of them I didn't really care too much for. And we'll finish it out with All the Best. This is a double album. And unlike the CD, which I do have, this album has 20 tracks. The CD, I believe, only has 17. One of the songs on it I actually didn't mind. I actually liked was We All Stand Together. Now I know how quirky that song is, but I still liked it regardless. And that song wasn't on the CD, so I was a little disappointed. And that is 22 records. That is the end of the 73 vinyl purchase. And I will be making another update, probably later on today, maybe tomorrow. I was going to maybe share with you some of my cassettes that I also recently purchased. I got some of them sitting back here. I've got some sitting in a box over there. Or I might just share some more vinyl. But some of the cassettes that I did get is in the heavy metal format, so I thought maybe I would share those with you. If anybody's interested in seeing that particular video. But until then, I just want to say thank you to all of my subscribers, new and old. The comments I've been receiving on the last few videos I've made have been very encouraging. I wasn't planning on being gone so long, I really wasn't. So things seem to have settled down long, and I hope it stays like this, because at least this way I can get a video out maybe once every day, twice every day, at least once a week. I try to keep you guys up to date with everything that I've got, whatever things that I've listened to, stuff that's even in my collection, and that's something else I was going to do, is make a video on just some of the stuff I've been listening to. Some stuff that I had sitting in my collection wasn't sure I was going to keep, but once I played it, I discovered that I liked it enough that I was going to keep it in the collection. So with that, I'm going to close up my video. I hope everyone is doing well. I know today is the start of the week. I hope you have a great week ahead of you. Don't work too hard, and I'll be in touch soon. I'll make another video later on today. So until then, talk to you later. Bye.